I thank you. I thank you for being vulnerable. I thank you for going deep and being unafraid to share that with me. All of these letters made me ask myself a question that I ponder a lot. What do we do with the scars? Those of us who did not die, but still aren't free. We struggle. We fight. We make a way out of no way. Every day we prove that the impossible is possible just by living. Trading worry for living, for being is freedom. It's about being present. Loving ourselves is a revolutionary act. We have to practice because the preachers in their Bibles don't always tell us so. Love can't be attained through ownership. Love is a relationship that must be cultivated through honesty. The truth can hurt, but a lie will never set you free. I, like you, choose truth. Please love me enough to tell me the truth. Alright, so here are two pictures of me. Young, dressed. Every Easter you coordinated within your smaller family. So like me, my mom, my brothers, our crew would pick our colors. And then we meet with the larger family and they would have their colors. And everybody would take pictures after church on Easter. Those gloves are amazing. That hat tilted to the side is amazing. I mean, that was a bad outfit. And my brother had the best high top. And my mom had the freshest jerry curl. And I had dookie braids with the little gold things, you know, the clips on the bottom. This is me, my mom and my dad visiting. I don't know what prison we were at. Oh man, see, my dad, I was a daddy's girl. I always only wanted to be with my dad. The way my mom and dad got together is in the church. My mom was a church girl. Her whole family was very church. And my dad was a musician. And he played for the church, but he also, you know, when the preaching started, he'd go out in the back and smoke a joint. And so my dad was kind of this like bad boy, and my mom didn't know the extent to which he was a bad boy, but she liked him, and she describes him with this afro that never could really stay because his hair was just like floppy. And he's a little wild, but I loved to be with him because he would take me and you never knew where you were going, but you knew it was going to be an adventure. And I met all kinds of interesting people that I know that had I been with my mom, it would have been like, these are the kind of people that you don't associate with, you don't affiliate with. My father was addicted to crack cocaine, and he was a binge addict, so there would be moments where we wouldn't hear from him for weeks, maybe at the longest I think maybe we didn't hear from him for a month. You think this is strange, but we would be praying that he had gotten locked up, because if he had gotten locked up, then we at least knew where he was. And so my mom would be calling to see if someone had gotten arrested. And I remember this one time we were driving home, and you know, it's like the place where all the drug addicts are, homeless people, they're gathered. I look and I said, there's Dad. Mom, you know, Dad is right over there with all of those people. And she pulled over and he comes to the car and he said, you know, hey, how you doing? You know, like he's like we haven't been looking for him for like 3 weeks. And he's just, you know, I mean, looking raggedy. And he said something like, you know, I got a job interview tomorrow. Let me just get $20. And my mom gave him the money. And why I'm telling you this story is because a lot of times you see people, like right out here, you see a lot of people who are addicted, you see people who are homeless. You see that and you never think that is somebody's father, that is somebody's parent, that is somebody's loved one. I always tell the story of the first trans person that I was aware of that I ever met was with my father, and we were walking down East 14th, and East 14th, they don't call it East 14th anymore, they call it International Boulevard to give it a new thing, but this is kind of like the host stroll or whatever. And so walking with my dad, and he's saying hi to everybody because everybody knows him on the street. And we stop at the bus stop, and there's this woman, and he starts talking to her, and I'm reading the queerness, I'm reading the difference, and I get so scared because I never been so close to a person that seemed queer to me. Like, I didn't know what that meant, and that my dad was talking to this person and so nice and so kind, and you could see I was like holding on to my dad, and my dad looks at me and he goes, "Oh, calm down, it's cool. I got all kinds of friends and that's okay." One of the greatest lessons that I learned from my dad is that everybody has something to offer and everybody is worthy. These days when I look in the mirror, I see change. I see my hips narrowing. I see my jawline sharpening. I see the physical markers of black manhood etch a divine design upon my body, and I feel pretty. But I wasn't born this way. I was born a black girl and I grew up into a black woman. I was once a queer hippie kid searching for peace in a New England boarding school because home could no longer hold me. I was once a masculine identified lesbian, a femme-loving stud who was afraid to love other masculine folk. I was never told it was okay for us to love one another and that our love was valuable too. And today I write this as a black trans man, queer boy, lover of love. I chose this life. Being a little black girl is not easy, and I was a little black girl that developed early. When I was in kindergarten, my mom took me to the doctor because she was like, "What's wrong with my daughter?" And they said, "You gotta buy her a training bra." That changes your life. Other little kids, they're not aware of their bodies in certain ways, and I was already being made aware, like, well, you gotta wear this shirt, you gotta do this, you gotta do this. I had a D cup, so I had a lot that I was carrying around that, for me, even if I didn't like transition with hormones or anything like that, I always wanted to have top surgery. When I moved to that private school, I learned about this thing called homophobia. I learned that I was a homophobe. I was raised in a kind of real Christian space, and we were having conversations, and I was like, man, you know, I really hope I don't have any gay children, because that would be awful, because then they would have to die. And people were like, "What are you talking about?" And I was like, well, you know, gay people can't live. And it did not register in my head that there might be something wrong with that. I went away to a summer camp in New York, and then I really fell in love with a woman. And it was a bad way to fall in love first with someone, because it was the kind of person who was like, "You're gay, you're gay. I'm not gay, you're gay." And I'm not gay. That is not of Christ. And my cousin, this is the cold thing, my cousin came to visit me at camp, and I don't know why. I mean, he must have just been feeling something, because he went back and told my mom that he thought I was gay. And then it was this big thing, am I gay? And I was just like, am I gay? I started to think about this thing, and then I started to think about it as like, oh my God, well, what happens if you're that thing that you hate, or what happens if you're that thing that God hates? What's going to happen to you? And that was before I went to boarding school. And one of the reasons why I decided to go to boarding school in Massachusetts with all girls was because I was like, I need to figure this thing out, and I needed to do it away from my family. I came out to my mother in high school as bisexual. You know, there was a lot happening at the same time, so I'm talking to her about my sexuality, but then at the same time I'm cutting myself. The school has to make her aware of that. I'm having all these depression issues, and well, we did have a hard time with this whole gay thing. I'm not gonna lie and say it was easy, but there was something that she feared more than me being gay, and that was me being dead. When I cut myself, the only thing that she was thinking was that I was trying to kill myself. And I never wanted to kill myself. I never wanted to die. I cut myself because I wanted to feel. Talking to her about this is still really difficult, because she's just like, I can't call you he. I can't do that, because that's not who I'm gonna see. You're my baby. You're my baby girl. And it's also interesting too, you know, when we go to family things. So like my uncle's funeral, I spoke, and they introduced me as his nephew, and there were just all these old family friends who said, Now, I didn't know Denise had a son. It was so funny. You look just like Kiana. It's just like, and the funny thing is, you know, you try to tell, no, that is me. I just changed. And people still, you can say it right to their face and they don't get it. They don't understand what you're saying.